First, Netflix ruined Death Note. Next, they plan to ruin Avatar The Last Airbender and Cowboy Bebop. But after Cowboy Bebop comes yet another animated property that people love. We have all been dreading Netflix's Cowboy Bebop series because of how terrible the details sound. They're making narrative changes, completely redesigning outfits, race swapping, and gender swapping characters, and a lot of people were hopeful that it was going to work out in some way, shape, or form, but Netflix is already thinking about the future and which anime comes after Cowboy Bebop, and now we officially know it's gonna be One Piece. They have announced that the script is done, and One Piece fans are uniting against the idea of this live action series. But before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or supporting via direct donations. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So Netflix's official Geeked account, which kind of talks about all of their pop culture entertainment, put out this tweet, and it's very simple, but it's got a lot of people worried. All they said was, "It's happening, hashtag One Piece," and then it's got the front page of the script. It says Romance Dawn episode number 1 teleplay by Matt Owens and Stephen Maida. Now this has a lot of people kind of freaking out because we were hoping truly and genuinely the Netflix would do good with all of these series. People were very hopeful for Death Note, people are very hopeful for Cowboy Bebop, and now we're hearing about this One Piece series that a lot of people are really hoping is gonna go well. So I wanted to head over to this article just to read a couple of the details. We don't really know much about this right now, but it says Netflix's live-action One Piece show is finally happening. The first script is finished, and I'm gonna be honest, guys, I really don't have a lot of hope for this. We see what Netflix did with Death Note. We are going to see what they're going to do with Cowboy Bebop, and even though Cowboy Bebop and One Piece are not out yet, we can tell that they're already going to be disasters. I mean, let's be honest. Netflix doesn't care about respecting the source material that they're working with here. The teams behind these projects really don't care. And we actually know that for the most part, the same creative team that's doing Cowboy Bebop is going to be behind this One Piece show. So if Cowboy Bebop turns out like crap, which it probably will, this will probably turn out like crap. So it says work is underway on the script for Netflix's live-action adaptation of the manga and anime series One Piece. An image of the script for episode 1 has been posted on Twitter, and the image only shows the front cover of the script, but it does reveal the title, like I had read. Very simple tweet, but that doesn't mean a lot of people aren't going to see this and instantly be worried. A lot of people do not want this to be the next property to be touched and most likely ruined by Netflix. They also shared an image of the official logo, which in my opinion looks pretty bad. I know a lot of people do not like the look of this. It just looks so low quality. It looks like a bad Photoshop job. I don't know. I'm personally not a big fan of it, but it's okay. It's just a logo. If the show itself is good, that's ultimately what matters. But they also added the caption, "No matter how hard or how impossible it is, never lose sight of your goal. Hashtag One Piece." The One Piece live-action show was officially announced by Netflix in January 2020, following several years of rumors about a potential adaptation. Owens and Maida are the showrunners, and the first season will have 10 episodes, and we still have no details about casting, directors, or a release date, but it's exciting to think that it's finally happening. I'm actually kind of dreading the fact that this is happening. While I do love One Piece and things like Cowboy Bebop, and I would love for them to have good live-action counterparts, I just don't really have a lot of faith in Netflix and the creative teams behind these projects. It really does suck, but they're not going into these hoping to make something that fans are gonna love and appreciate. They're going into this to make the franchise as politically correct as possible. Netflix is going into these projects not to make them good or accurate to source material, but to shove their own personal brand of activism into them, and that's ultimately not what fans want. People just want decent retellings of stories in live action settings, yet we're going to get absolutely garbage content. And obviously, this hasn't come out yet, so I can't fully judge it, but if it's gonna be anything like the live action Death Note or what Cowboy Bebop sounds like it's gonna be, it's going to be a disaster. And if we go over to Rotten Tomatoes, this is what the Death Note remake is sitting at for an audience score, a 23%, a 2 out of 5, and even the critic score is awful because it is sitting at a 38%. And I wanted to quickly just read a few reviews here to show you all the disaster that was Death Note. People are saying things like, really painful to watch, barely any of the actual Death Note story is included, it was an embarrassing flop. Oh, something popular. Let's Americanize it. It is so cringy, it is almost impossible to watch. This film is so bad in every way. This movie is not like what I imagined. The entire movie is so fast, useless sex scenes, school movie cliches, nothing like the original story. These are all 1 and 2 stars. No one was impressed with this. It is sitting at such a terrible user score right now. So why should we have faith in something like a live-action Cowboy Bebop or a live-action One Piece when they're being created by the same people? Now, heading back over to the original tweet that Netflix Geeked put up about the One Piece script, I wanted to read some of the comments because people are making a lot of good points and a lot of people just are very upset over this right now. Somebody said, Netflix and a red-headed character, rest in peace. We have seen Hollywood erasing redhead characters lately. I do not have any hope that they will keep her a redhead. People are joking around saying, oh, they'll probably make her a person of color. They'll probably make her this ethnicity or that ethnicity. I would love to see more redheads in movies and entertainment. I do not know why redheads are so shunned now, but apparently they are. So Lofty Pixel said the person who runs this Twitter account and it's a smiling face on the outside but crying internally, and it's so true. I just don't understand how people can be excited for this right now, especially with Netflix's animated property turned to live action history here. I just don't have a lot of faith in Netflix and this creative team to do right by this franchise. Someone just simply said, please stop. It has 2.8k likes, and I think we're all agreeing with this right now, because if Netflix was making good live-action adaptations, we'd all feel very differently, but they haven't. A lot of these things aren't going to translate well, okay? A lot of the scenes in these anime are not going to translate well to a live-action form, and we know that they're going to be making narrative changes to some of these. They're going to be changing a lot of the story and doing things so that it seems more realistic and more believable. But if you're going to turn them into live action properties, at least do it right. Make good content. Try to make it as accurate as possible. But Netflix doesn't care about accuracy. They care about getting those clicks. AliRx said, unlike Cowboy Bebop, there will be fan service in this one, right? Right, and it's so true, because Cowboy Bebop's going to have no fan service now, because they were complaining about how they had to change Faye's outfit because a real person had to wear that. Even though this is a bathing suit, they're gonna find an excuse. They're gonna say, well, a real woman had to wear that, and she just didn't feel comfortable with that. People are also pointing out the logo isn't right, because someone said even the logo is not accurate. Removing Luffy and putting Eye is like removing the lamp from Pixar. It's iconic. Neo Unrealist said is nothing sacred. Netflix is bound and determined to turn off Western audiences to anime by twisting it into a grotesque caricature of the source material. And it's kind of true. It seems like Netflix is doing the worst job possible with these. Why would anyone have faith in them to suddenly do better? Why would you praise a company that's continuously ruined franchises? Somebody said, I've already lost faith if this is the writer's previous work, and it's things like Luke Cage, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Star Wars audio comics, and The Defenders, all things that have done pretty mediocre. So people are sharing photos of nun Halloween costumes saying leaked picture of Nami's Netflix outfit. And it's so true. This is probably what we're going to get. We're not going to get her in her original outfits, her bathing suit bikini tops. We're going to get the most mediocre actress with the most mediocre Halloween CW level outfits as possible. This is going to be a disaster. I'm calling it now. Maybe it will be amazing. I haven't seen it yet, but I think that it's going to be a disaster. It's Netflix we're talking about, the same creative team behind Cowboy Bebop. And this just doesn't seem like it could translate well to live action. Ultimately, I guess we're going to find out in a couple of years when they finally decide to release it, but right now, I'm not very hopeful for it, and a lot of One Piece fans aren't either. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.